Hi, I'm Stephanie Priest. I am the CEO and founder of Ignite Fitness and Kickboxing, and we have helped thousands of people come to the other side of their goals. What we do is focus on wellness, we focus on lifestyle and making certain that you can absolutely achieve the goals that you have set for yourself, but still have the lifestyle that you absolutely love. So in this video today, we are going to talk about how in the world, how in the world is it that we just keep hitting plateaus? So let me tell you about my top six, that's seven, my top six mistakes that I've made along my fitness journey. Because I think that what's going to inevitably end up happening is you guys are going to be like, oh my gosh, I've absolutely done at least one of those things, if not more than that. So let me first say that fast fixes are just not the jam, right? What we find is that as science progresses and as nutrition progresses and all of this stuff progresses, there are new things that drop into media all the time, but oftentimes we don't have the background for it. And let me be really clear, if it is a fast fix, if there are instant results, it's too good to be true, right? Like it just is too good to be true. So really think about what it is that you're entering into, and if that actually makes sense or if it's a fast fix, because if it's a fast fix, then the likelihood that you're going to be able to maintain that for a very long time is probably slim to none. So this is what I'll tell you from a personal perspective. I very much am a big believer in macros. It allows me to be able to have a lifestyle that I choose to have. I'm able to build things into my macro stack that make me feel like I'm not deprived, that I don't feel like I have restriction. And quite frankly, as I'm looking at my lifestyle, that's the stuff that I want to be able to give to other people, right? I want to share with other people what it is that I'm doing, how it is that I'm finding success, so that way we all get to the other side of our journeys together. Okay, so like I said, I'm a really big believer in macros, but let me talk to you about lasting results, how it is that we can dial those in, and truly what mistakes I've made along the way. And I'm hoping that you guys will be like, oh my God, I've done that too. So the very first thing that I wanted to touch on is that we're not actually eating the correct amount of calories for our goal. So everyone's goal is very different, right? Some people's goals are to lose weight. Some people's goals are to bulk up. Some people's goals are to adjust our body composition. All of those require a very different caloric intake, right? It also requires very different training programs for everyone. So why is it that we aren't progressing? Well, one of those is we don't know what our goal is. And we sure as heck, if we don't know what our goal is, we really don't know what our actual calorie goal should be. So let me just give you like a general rule of thumb. If you are trying to cut weight, okay, if you're just trying to cut weight, really what you should be looking at is dropping your daily caloric intake 300 to 400 calories lower than what you normally take in. Well, I don't know what my normal maintenance calories are. Well, you got to track, right? So in order for us to figure out what our maintenance calories are on a day-to-day basis, we really have to look at how much consumption do we actually have on a daily basis. And then, and quite frankly, only then, can you identify what that calorie deficit is in order for you to be able to actually begin losing weight, right? When you're thinking about a deficit, you want to look at 300 to 400 calories lower than what your maintenance calories are. If you're looking to bulk, if you're looking to add muscle on, you really want to build in an extra 200 to 300 calories on top of whatever it is that your maintenance is. So number one reason why we don't progress is because we're not eating the correct amount of calories that are in alignment with our goals. Number two, for those of you who are out there and you're like lifters and you're like looking at building these big old muscles, not that these are big old muscles, but if you're looking to add in muscles, then really what you need to be doing is whenever you're going and you're lifting, you have to make certain that you're tracking. It doesn't matter if you're in group session. It doesn't matter if you're doing private sessions, semi-private sessions. You really need to make certain that you are tracking on a consistent basis, because what is inevitably going to happen is that you are going to plateau, right? You are going to see less muscular development. You are not going to build the tissue that you need to build because you're not beating and you're not matching the volume that you've had in prior weeks. So really be structured in how it is that you're communicating that, how it is that you're actually detailing that information. Because in order for you to build new tissue, in order for you to have musculature picture. You need to understand what you were doing from a volume perspective, what you were doing from a weight perspective, and you need to beat that every single week, right? So in alignment with that, in order for us to be able to build muscle, there are a couple of things. You guys hear me all the time talk about sleep and stress management, right? Like we have to manage our recoveries. So a lot of times what happens is our progress will halt. This is still part of two. Our progress will halt in that muscular development and that tissue build simply because we're not managing our stress and we're not managing our recovery. And when we're not managing those things, a couple of things can happen. Number one is we'll plateau. Number two, injuries occur, right? So really be disciplined around the amount of sleep that you're getting. Really look at like your stress management protocol. So like, let's talk a little bit about stress management protocol. Super, super important. Everyone has stress, right? You have stress, I have stress, your friends have stress, children have stress. Your body can't tell if it's good stress or if it's bad stress. What we need to be able to do is we need to be able to effectively manage the stress that we have. Life is stressful. It's just part of it, right? But without proper coping mechanisms and without proper stress management tools and without proper recovery, you absolutely are not going to be able to contribute to the growth, right, of your physical gains. It just won't happen. So really look at that and think about that. The third one that I really want to bring up, and I think that it's super, super, super integral to all of us, is does your workout, does your nutrition plan work within your constraints, right? Are you a busy mom? Are you running around all the time with children? Like what exactly, are you an executive at a company? Are you, working 12 hours a day? And then you're going to add on like 6 days a week of lifting, 6 days a week of cardio, adding in a brand new nutrition plan, adding in meal prep that you've never done before, right? All of these things are important if you want to choose to be healthy. They're all important. But you have to pick something that makes sense and something that's realistic within what your constraints are. So that might mean walking 10,000 steps a day. How many steps do you log a day? You probably don't know. Get a handle on that. Maybe it means that you like meal prep on Sundays and you meal prep for 4 days a week, as opposed to meal prepping for 7 days a week. Maybe you stock your cabinets with things that are naturally healthy that in the past you would have went to Panera. Yeah, I said Panera. You heard me say Panera. Maybe you went to Panera, and when you went to Panera, you had a 1,300 calorie salad. That happens, people. They're owned by McDonald's. Like, let's be real and let's be honest. But seriously, like, let's think about that. Making these good habits, right? Doing things that are realistic for us. When you start to add in 6 days a week of lifting, 6 days a week of cardio, brand new nutrition plans, plus maintaining the same level of constraints that you already have, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to get overwhelmed. You add stressors. And what happens when you get overwhelmed and you add stressors? You hold on to the weight, right? That's part of the cycle. So I'm going to say something and it might make me a little bit unpopular, and I'm okay with that. If your health is your priority, you're going to have to sacrifice something. Every time that you say yes to someone else, you're saying no to yourself. But let me say this aloud. When you say no, it gives someone else the opportunity to say yes, right? There are 1,000 other people out there who will do what it is that you keep saying yes to if it's something outside of your health. But at the end of the day, if your health is your priority, and it's okay if it's not, let me be clear with that, right? You may not be in the space where your health is your priority. That's totally fine. But be honest with yourself that it's just not your priority, right? And these other things are. And when you're ready to jump in, then recognize that you are going to have to sacrifice something to be able to make gains. But when you are looking at the approach, right, of what it is that works the best for you, really think about it. Does it mean that I physically go to the gym? Does it mean that I work out remote? Does it mean that I weight train? Does it mean that I do cardio? Does it mean that I do keto? Does it mean that I do macros? Like, what are the things that will naturally fit into your lifestyle that will not increase the stressors that you have in your life, right? And that is the direction that you want to go. Cool? That's number 3. Number 4, progress pictures. I cannot say this enough. Progress pictures. Lots of you guys out there are totally, I almost cursed, are totally crushing the game. completely. You're making these massive gains, but you don't see the numbers on the scale, right? And you don't see the numbers on the scale because it's a body composition thing. You're growing muscle, you're building tissue, right? When you do that, the scale is not going to make these major like adjustments on there, okay? You don't realize it because all you're looking at is this box of springs. I said it, girl. It is a box of springs. That is all it is. Take those pictures, really evaluate your body, period over period over period. I take pictures every Monday, good, bad, or indifferent. And some days they're good, and some days they're bad, and some days they're indifferent. But this is what I will tell you, over a long period of process or a long period of this process, I see those gains, massive, massive gains. So take your pictures, okay? That's number 4. Number 5, motivation. Motivation is bullshit, girl. Right? Motivation is not real. What is going to get you to the other side of your journey is not going to be motivation. It is going to be consistency. It is going to be building good habits. It is going to be when I don't want to go and train, I train anyway. It is going to be when I don't want to eat correctly, I eat at least 80% correctly. I do the stuff anyway. And you have to do the stuff also, right? So how many of these so far have you been like, oh, maybe that's me. Oh, that was definitely me. Oh, girl, that was for real me, right? Like this is real life. This is the stuff that holds us back every single day. Motivation is bullshit. You're never going to get anywhere with motivation. Okay. It's just not going to happen. I've been doing this for years now. Motivation is not real. It is consistency. It is building habits. It is doing the things that you don't always want to do, right? Because when you do those things that you don't always want to do, that is when you are going to have your biggest gains. That is when you are going to crush life, right? I can't tell you how many times I've went to the gym and I've sat outside in my car and like procrastinated for 45 minutes before I made my happy ass go inside and do the workout. I just made myself go do it. I didn't want to be there, but I did it anyway, right? And that is what separates those who reach their goals and those who don't. It's habit, those who don't. It's habits, right? This is what sets you up for success. So you cannot rely on motivation, right? Motivation is bullshit. It is about habits. It is about building good habits and consistency. That is like the be all end all. Okay, and number 6, what is number 6? Gee golly, this is going to be one of those that you're like, for real? Take it back to the basics. It doesn't have to be all the crazy stuff. It doesn't have to be all the fad stuff. It doesn't have to be all the like, like eat nothing in cardboard and you're going to do this or do like, take it back to basics. Eat the rainbow. Do 10,000 steps a day, right? It's the little things. Make sure that you drink your water. Make certain that you rest and recover, right? Those are the things that are going to make you healthy. And quite frankly, that's way more important than a number on the scale. That's way more important than a body composition number. That is way more important than any of the things. If your health truly is a priority, right? Take it back to the basics. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be crazy. All it has to be is basic, right? And that's not a bad thing. Those are the things when we're consistent and we do them over and over and over. Those are the things that make us grow. Those are going to be the things that take us to that next level. And if you are listening to this and you are a part of the Ignite community or not a part of the Ignite community, none of that matters, right? At the end of the day, this is about you being a little bit better every single day. Just a little bit better every single day, right? Like that's all we need. And think about that. If you are 8% better every single day, at the end of the year, you're 365% better, girl. And if you are 80% today and 60% tomorrow and 50% the next day, well, hell, you are still better than when you started out. So if you like this content, make certain that you click the subscribe button, make certain that you like smash that like button, as Ozzy would say. We're super excited to be able to continue to share content with you. So help us do that. Make certain that you guys are liking, make certain that you are commenting below if you have questions or comments. We love what it is that we do. We want to continue to help as many people as we possibly can. We love you guys so much and have an amazing day. Take it easy.